Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Del Buno. In science, we have been learning about pushes and pulls. Yesterday, we learned about Daniel using pushes while he went to a birthday party at the bowling alley. Now, yesterday, you practiced using pushes to move the ball down the lane, and you practiced changing the direction of the push with bumpers. Remember, as the ball bumped off the bumper, it changed which way it was moving. Today, we're going to look at pushes again, but this time we're going to think about how if a rock rolled down a mountain, how that would push things over. It would push anything that got in its way. So let's watch the video together. And then when we're finished, you're going to do an activity similar to how you did yesterday. Let's get started.
Hi, it's Doug. Have you ever been to the mountains? Some people visit the mountains, like to visit a national park or to go skiing. That's because many people find mountains are beautiful to look at. Maybe some of you out there even live near the mountains. Lots of towns are near mountains. One thing you might notice if you ever visit the mountains are all the signs along the sides of the road that look like this. Or in some places, the signs look like this. These signs are warning people to be careful of falling rocks. This can be a real problem for many mountain towns. Mountains are made of rock, and sometimes pieces of rock come loose. Maybe it rains, and so the mountain gets slippery. Well, those rocks start tumbling down the mountain. It might not seem like a big deal. Say that a rock tumbles just a little bit on the mountain. It's moving slowly. Now, what do you think will happen if that rock bumps into a tree?
So let's think about it, boys and girls. If a rock tumbles slowly, what do you think will happen if it bumps into a tree? So try to visualize that, meaning put it in your mind TV. Picture a rock slowly rolling down. What will happen if it bumps into a tree? Let's see. Now, if it's moving very slowly, you might think that it might not really do anything. It might just bump into the tree. Maybe the rock will stop. Maybe it will move the tree a little bit. But let's think about how it would be different if the rock is moving fast. What do you think will happen if it bumps into a tree? Let's see.
If a small rock tumbles slowly down a mountain and then it hits a tree, it'll push on the tree, but it'll stop right there. If a rock tumbles fast, it will have a stronger push. Strong enough that watch what happens. Whoa, did you see that? It could break a tree and knock it over. Let's watch that again. Here's the rock tumbling fast. Oh, and it knocked the tree over. It's just like a bowling ball knocking over bowling pins. So the faster a thing moves, the stronger it pushes on something when it bumps into it. That's why those falling rock signs are on the road. They're a warning to drivers. Be careful if you see falling rocks. If they're falling fast, they can push so hard that they damage your car. Now, what if a really, really big rock is falling and tumbling? Now, if that rock crashes into something, what will happen? How much damage do you think a rock can do if it's big, even if it's tumbling slowly? Well, here is a true story. In a small town in the country of Italy in Europe, there was a house and barn that was built near the bottom of a hill. One day, a large rock from the top of the hill came tumbling down. And guess what? Luckily, the rock missed the house and the farm animals. Whew, no one was hurt. But as the rock tumbled, the barn was in its way. The barn used to be right here. You see that? The rock was not tumbling very fast, but it was a big rock. And so even though it just tumbled slowly, it gave a huge push to the side of the barn. And that push was strong enough to knock down the walls of the barn. A rock that tumbled down a hill was strong enough to act like a bulldozer. Now, if another giant rock ever rolled down that mountain, it'd be great if there were a way to make sure that it would miss the house again. Think about that. What could you do to change the direction a giant rock was rolling so that it wouldn't hit the house?
So what do you think, boys and girls? How could you change which way the boulder was rolling so that it wouldn't hit the house? How could you change it? Think back to when you practiced with bowling using the bumpers. How could you change the direction of that rock that's going to push on things? Here's going to be a preview of the activity that you could set up today. As always, you could set up these activities with things that you have around the house. So don't worry if you don't have a clipboard or can't set this up exactly. Be creative and use things that you already have so that you can do these fun activities.
In today's activity, you're going to play a game called Boulder Bump. In this game, you will protect a town from a boulder that's rolling downhill. Now, you wouldn't want to roll a big boulder at a real town. Someone could get hurt. So you're going to play this game with a pretend town called Tiny Town, a town made of paper houses. A scientist would call Tiny Town a model. It's a small version of the real thing so that you can experiment. Tiny Town is at the bottom of a steep hill made out of cardboard. Now, just for fun, imagine that you're a very tiny person who lives in Tiny Town in a beautiful paper house. One day, you take a hike up the cardboard hill, and you see a large boulder that's about to come loose. Unless you do something, this boulder will roll down the cardboard hill and crush the town. So you run over to the local construction company, the Itty Bitty Builders, and you ask for their help. The Itty Bitty Builders say that they have a dump truck that they can use to take the boulder away, but they can't get it up to the top of the cardboard hill. They say that if you can safely get the boulder into their dump truck at the bottom of the hill, they'll take care of the rest. So you ask them if they have anything that could safely guide a boulder that's rolling down the hill so that it doesn't hit the town. They offer you the only things they have strong enough to do the job. 5 strong poles made of push pins. If you put a push pin pole in the boulder's path, you can change the direction that the boulder's rolling. You want the boulder to roll right into the dump truck so that the Itty Bitty Builders can take it away. You can do it if you put your push pin poles in the right places. You're going to work with a partner to figure out where to put those push pin poles. You and your partner will take turns testing out different ideas. And you only have 5 poles, so you'll have to choose carefully where you put them. I'll show you how to get started, step by step.
All right, boys and girls. So that's going to be our goal for the activity today. And like I said before, if you don't have these supplies, don't worry. What could you use instead of push pins if you don't have push pins and cardboard? Could you use blocks of some sort? Pencils? Pens? Can you make things with paper maybe, like a paper bumper? Be creative. So have fun trying this when you're at home. Talk soon.